We go. Hello. How are we all doing? It is certified personal trainer Mary Beth Rockwell from the Next Fitness Thing, our executive producer and CEO, Alexis Craig, also certified personal trainer from the Next Fitness Thing, and welcome to the Next Fitness Show, our weekly YouTube extravaganza, live every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific. And of course, we're recording it if you can't make it with us live. But if you are with us live, hello. Please feel free to share in the comments and like stuff. And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, of course, please do that. And we're going to have a lot of good stuff today. Alexis, you want to say, hey, what's up in your world?
Hey,
Hey!
happy Friday.
Happy long holiday weekend Friday. Some of us have the day off on Monday, so that's more time to come and work out with us, by the way. Hint, hint. On today's show, we are going to dip into the TNFT mailbag. Y'all have been sending in some great health and wellness questions. So we're going to get one of those in here today for you. Mid-show stretch break is going to be fun, and the move of the week will get you up off your seat. So get a little movement activity. And if you are indeed watching this live or the recording for that matter, we want you to do these things with us, okay? It's not for our health, it's for your health, all right? And then we are going to have a big announcement coming up toward the later part of the show. So thank you all for joining us. And I mentioned, please subscribe to our Next Fitness Thing YouTube channel. And if you want notifications whenever we do something new, hit the bell button. All right, that is the notification alarm. And whenever we send something new, you'll get a notification. That's how that works. All right. Alexis, we are going to dive into a discussion about, first and foremost, February, which is this month as we're live, is National Cancer Prevention Month. So we have a lot of thoughts about this because one of the things that we love and do here is keeping everybody healthy and well to the best of our ability. But there's a little bit of work that's involved in it, but not a whole lot of steps for you to take to ward off that possibility that cancer might come into your life. And it's very, very common. You and I, Alexis, both have a family history of this. And why don't you share your story if you don't mind? Because you're deep in it right now.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the Cancer Prevention Month definitely hits close to my heart. I mean, this is something in my family. I mean, full disclosure, I have both of my parents dealing with cancer right now, and it's a lot. And I mean, this has been something in my family that we've worked with again and again and again. And it's honestly, I have so much just reverence for how much courage it takes to go through the cancer treatment. It is so intense, like, wow. And at the same time, I can just see for myself that I would love to be able to prevent myself having to go through that if at all possible. And I know that, my parents, as they're going through it right now, wish that for me too. So it's really like an inquiry right now of like, what does that look like? What, especially looking at like my parents, then myself, like, what does it look like for me to be the change and to do things in a different way to make it so that I can put myself in a position to see if I can avoid going through this myself, and I understand that part of it is genetic and part of it is maybe not completely avoidable, and part of it is maybe environmental in this way where we may also not have complete control over all of the factors going into that. But there are factors that we do have control over. And so I just want to make sure that I am really doing what I can to prevent cancer in my own body.
Amen to that, and love to your parents. I mean, that's quite the road they're both on, and so lots of healing energy going their way.
Thanks.
One of the reasons that I talk about this a lot, one of the reasons that I became a trainer was because I was basically a couch potato for the first 30 years of my life or so, with the exception of marching band practice. That was about it for me, and a brief foray into the junior high track team that lasted about a week as a high jumper. But my mom had breast cancer as well, and in large part, we didn't really have a history in our family. Hers was actually largely behavioral based and habit based. So being sedentary, eating not so healthy food, drinking not so healthy things, and that it came to bite her. And so, like Alexa said, some of the things you can't control. You can do all the things right and you may still get cancer. Let's be honest about it. But why not try the things? Because what's it going to hurt? All right.
Right.
So, yeah, Alexis, we had some tips about how you can help stave off the risk of cancer. And we got some stats, and this is from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the physical activity guidelines. And this is for basic stuff, but it also applies to avoiding your risk of cancer. And this is also courtesy of, I believe, Harvard Health gave us these stats too. So urging all adults to include the following types of exercise in your weekly routine. Weekly, we've got some numbers here. 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week. That's roughly 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You can take your weekends off if you want, or you can do it on the weekends. And then when you're busy during the week, take a day off. Or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity. So what's the line between moderate and vigorous?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I would say, to me, it's probably, if you were going to do heart rate zones or something, moderate means that, at least the way that I describe it in our classes, I'm always like, if you're a medium pace, you can probably like sing a song and do the workout at the same time. Where if you are at the more intense pace, then it's going to be you're too out of breath to be able to do that. So I would say that's how you can tell if you're at one at the other.
Yeah, that's a really good sign there. And by the way, the classes, I was remiss and I did not give out our website, thenextfitnessthing.com, if you're looking to track us down. So I wanted to go back and grab that and make that official. Strength training. You also need strength training. We have some lovely peeps who hang with us at TNFT that don't really like to strength train, but you need to. 2 or more strength training sessions per week, at least 48 hours in between to allow your muscles to recover. But that said, you could do, if you wanted to, lower body one day, upper body one day. Most people can handle core almost every day, I find, because those are pretty strong muscles for most of us. And just give yourself a little recovery when you need it. It's common for it to hurt the next day, that delayed onset muscle soreness. But if it hangs around and lingers, that's something you want to get checked out. But then balance as well in there. And all of these things and what you put into your body, the healthier, the better. Whole grains, lots of fruit and veg, and it's all going to combine into making you a healthier human being.
Like eat organic when you can. Know when you know what kind of things inflame your body, so that what can, and keep your immune system as strong as possible. I mean, the thing that it's like with this, I feel like the good news is you're not just doing this for cancer prevention. Every single one of those things is also going to help you in so many other ways. Like it's going to help you with your mood. It's going to help you with your physical presence. It's going to help you with your appearance. All of those things are going to improve. So if
you're already
just
doing
one more
things,
reason,
you're on the right track. And do we need to mention smoking? I mean,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's kick that to the curb. So do take care of yourself. February, National Cancer Prevention Month is also, as we mentioned earlier, Heart Health Month too. So, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, and they all kind of dovetail together to keep you a wonderfully healthy human being for as long as possible, so you can rock your life as much as you want to into your later years. So
yeah.
And things.
I think the one other thing I just would like to say about all of that is it's like, I feel like some of these things that are the habits that lead to the cancer, a lot of times it has to do with an addictive behavior, or it's some kind of behavior that maybe you intend to change and you're kind of struggling with it, and it's actually sort of hard to change that behavior because there's an emotional underlayer of something going on that's making it more that you feel like you need something to help you with this emotional thing you're dealing with. So that's where your resourcing is, whatever that addiction is, whether it's smoking or sugar or alcohol or whatever else it might be for you, right?
Right.
So I just, with that, I feel like, yes, exercise can help with that, because, and I know we're very attuned to that because that's what we do. And if you
Right.
need some other kind of help to be able to work with your emotions to find a different way to deal with them, then I am just so much in full support of that. Because I mean, there's some, if you really aren't able to stop the behavior, there's something else going on underneath it, and that really is asking to be looked at.
Right. And you might need to go a little bit deeper than you might think to find out what that might be. Two more notes, and I think we are going to move on for the next segment of this show. But one of them was get your checkups. Stay on top of that, because if you are at risk of cancer and something comes up and it's caught early, you have a much better chance of survival than if you let it linger unknown and then all of a sudden it's like boom, this is serious. And then, not that it isn't serious in the early part, you know what I mean. But then the other thing was, it left my mind. It totally left my mind. I had to think. It'll come back to me. Anyhow, oh yeah, you were mentioned, behavior and emotions, managing your stress. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. So meditation, like for example, our 10-minute meditation class is just a little slice out of your day with a next fitness thing, just to bring yourself inward and focus on the deep part that I was talking about earlier. So, all right.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody is healthy and well, or at least on their way to it this National Cancer Prevention Month. Thank you. So next we have one of the features of the next fitness thing. And if you're not new to us, welcome. Thank you for checking out our show. First and foremost, we hope you'll check out our wellness and fitness app as well. And
P.S. Can I throw something
yes,
in there real quick?
sure.
Meanwhile, in the chat right now, Carol and Kathy and Aaron and Anna are all saying hi. So I just want
Hi.
to say hi to you guys. Carol is sharing about her dad who had lung and bladder cancer, smoking related.
Mm,
And Kathy is sending love. And Anna is saying that she has a family member having cancer, is rough. And her mom was battling breast cancer with the months leading up to your wedding, and it affects everyone.
mm.
And Kathy is sharing that she lost her father to lung cancer and that her mother is a breast cancer survivor. So I just
Yeah.
want to present some of these things from the chat, since it's kind
Thank
of hard for
you.
us to see them and do this at the
Right.
same
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. I can't see the chat right now. So thanks, Alexis, for saying that. And for those of you who are hanging with us live, we love that. Okay. So back
Okay,
to
we're
what we were talking
ready.
about. Oh, all access classes we have on the next fitness thing. So every once in a while, somebody new to us says, what do you mean by an all access class? So if you were to check out thenextfitnessthing.com, you'll be able to see our class schedule. And these are live classes, which are also recorded for replay version or viewing later on. But you'll see some of these classes are marked all access. Alexis, spill. What are the all access classes for?
I mean, all access is basically a class that you can access without having a full-on membership with us. So our intention with this, honestly, was that this would be a free class. Due to some tech considerations that we have going on right now, you basically join with a trial membership that is $1 a year. And then, because that's the only way the tech would support us to be able to do it, won't let us do free. So it's $1 a year, but then you get access to all of the classes that we've marked in our schedule, all access. These classes, some are live, where you can actually interact with the trainers. And then all of those live classes also are recorded so that you also get access to them in the replay library. Plus, we release many of these classes on replay just for replay. So for example, we have a
Right.
trainer AMA walk. It's an Ask Me Anything walk. It's all
Those are
access. Anyone
fun.
can take it. You can get to know the trainers that way and go for a walk, or even just listen to it if you want to. That's okay too. So all access basically means you don't really have to join with a membership in order to have access to that class. And if you want to get an all access membership, then if you go to memberships.thenextfitnessthing.com, then you can see the trial membership there for $1 a year. And that's the best place to start.
That's a great way to spend a buck. I mean, absolutely. And then also our monthly community events. We have lots of celebrations throughout the course of the year, and also our monthly goals walk, which is the first Monday of every month to help you establish and maybe tweak goals that you've already set or build some new ones. And those are all access classes as well. So it's a great opportunity for somebody to come check us out. And again, that dollar trial membership gets you in, and best dollar you're going to spend, best dollar you're going to spend. So hope you'll come and check us out if you haven't done so and you're kind of like, I'm not sure, I want to try a little bit. That's your entry level. So we hope to see you in class. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're already halfway through class. We're almost exactly halfway through class. How did we manage that? Mid-show stretch break. Woo! Okay. We love this one. Alexis nor I are in the position this week to demonstrate this one live, though. So, but it's a great one. Yogis, this is for you. Hi, Kathy. Talking about you.
Yep, we got Kathy right now in the chat. I know you're cheering this on. So I first just want to say, if you are watching this, I encourage you to make your way to downward facing dog. So right now, downward facing dog, meaning find some space. If you are like me and you're behind a desk right now, or you're sitting or whatever, you can do a version of it standing, where you would basically put your hands on the desk, stand up, and lean back with your hips and just bow forward. So that would be the standing version of downward dog.
If you're checking out this demo here, you see her torso and her legs are roughly 90 degrees. So you would just flip that a little bit and do it standing. So reach forward, sit your booty back, and get a nice little, well, there's a lot of benefits to it. Alexis, you're a yogi too, so.
Yeah, good point. I mean, like the biggest things with this, I mean, there's so many benefits to downward facing dog, but I would just say one thing that I see a lot of times in this downward dog is people tend to set it up with their hands too close to their feet. And so I would say with that, what I would encourage you to try is go to the plank first. So set yourself up in the plank where your shoulders are directly over your wrists, and then lift your hips up to downward facing dog. And that's a good way to know that you're actually set up with right alignment as far as the distance between your hands and your feet. Right. Other things to know with downward facing dog is this one is amazing for stretching your calves. So dorsiflexion, which is this, what it looks like right here, where you're curling your toes back towards your knees. It's kind of like in dance, they call it flexing your feet. Dorsiflexion is key for your lower body to be happy. And ankle mobility is really important. It's the only way you're going to have dorsiflexion. So downward facing dog is promoting dorsiflexion. So it's you're letting your heels sink toward the ground, even if they don't touch the ground, and it stretches out your calf muscles, and it makes it so that you are improving your ankle mobility. So that, for me, especially, I know we have a 5K coming up this weekend, and walking and running can be something that can be challenging to maintain dorsiflexion with. And it's really important to make sure you have dorsiflexion when doing that. So downward facing dog is a great choice for working on your ankle mobility, among other things.
Also stabilizes your shoulders. I do this work like every morning when I get a stretch in. I try to do it every morning, but whenever I do, this is always one of the moves that I do. And A, for the stretch, B, for the stabilization of your shoulders. So we like to use the cue sometimes, pull your shoulder blades down into your back pockets, and that keeps you nice and stable rather than being hunched up here. And it's good for all of you all over. So for those of you who are holding it this time, I hope the blood didn't rush out into your head. If you need to come out of it, please do. You can stay in it for as long. Yeah, I've known that to happen. And it's like when I used to do yoga, by the way, I always used to get like stuffed up in my nose when I was doing inverted poses like this. And then for some reason it went away. So I don't know. But happy downward facing dog. Yay.
Yeah. I will say that inversion of having your head below your hips, that in itself is a huge health benefit for multiple reasons, because it helps the blood, usually gravity is going the other way. So this is this opportunity for your blood and your lymph to get pushed in the other direction for a little while, which can be really, really helpful. Even for your brain health, to put a little more pressure there so that it makes it so that you have a little stronger blood vessels toward your brain.
Absolutely. All right. DFD, FTW for the win. Okay. Which leads us, since we're just talking about mobilizing your hips, that just might come in handy for the big announcement that we are going to launch on you next. Those of you who are with us, already members of the Next Fitness thing, y'all know we have walking challenges. They're called Step into Fitness Walking Program is the umbrella term for them. And then each time we do a challenge, it has a different name, a different concept. And we are heading into March. So we're bringing back from last year, by popular demand, our March On Walking Challenge. And it's going to start February 26th. That's a Monday. And it's going to be Monday through Thursday. It's a 3-week walking challenge, 25-minute classes. And we have your opportunity to join us, Alexis.
Yeah, this walking challenge is going to be really fun. And it also involves a prize. So at the end, there is, if you take part in the walking challenge and you do the challenge part, which involves sharing in class and or on social media about a different topic that we're going to prompt you with every day in the challenge, then you are entered for a chance to win some Next Fitness Thing swag. So
yay, and everybody wants the swag
that you go to sign up. It's marchon.thenextfitnessthing.com. Members get a discount when they join this challenge. Here's the calendar of the classes that are included. It's offered 3 times a day.
The scavenger hunt walk is back, by the way, very popular class, and it's a lot of fun. So you go out on your walk or inside on your walk. We ask you to find things and you snap a photo and send them in the chat, and we say yay.
Yay!
Yay! And there's, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I can't remember what I was going to say again. Go ahead.
It's about 9 days away. So just saying, we are just announcing this right now. It'll go up for signups basically by the end of the day today. So if you're watching this, you can sign up, and it is marchon.thenextfitnessthing.com.
Yay. And I remembered what I was going to say. I will remind you whenever we do one of these challenges and we do say members get a discount, if you join us at the non-member price, just keep in mind it might actually be more cost effective to sign up as a member, because it's actually going to work out quite likely to be less than what the non-member price is to sign up for a membership as well. Hint, hint. So I'm just dropping you inside knowledge there on that.
That's
true. Yeah. Okay. Marchon.thenextfitnessthing.com. Alexis will be leading classes. I will be leading classes. Kathy, who's watching us, is going to be leading some classes too. And Rivik as well, out of Austin, who is the captain of our current Meditation 101 on replay challenge. He's going to be doing some classes too. So please join us. It's going to be a blast. It always is. And we'd love for you to join us. All right. Okay. We are now, it's funny how one subject kind of snowballs into the next this week, because we now are going to head into our move of the week. So now we've got your hips loose from the downward dog. Now we've got you set up to join us for our March On Walking Challenge. And now we're going to talk about our move of the week, which is how you swing your arms when you are walking and or running. It makes a difference. It really does. So Alexis, chime in. We got a video for you here. So you will see there's a slow jogger on the left. She's having some fun. She's pumping her arms kind of across her body diagonally. And there's a little bit of more rotation through her shoulders and her core that you'll see on the runner on the right side, who is aiming her arms straight ahead because she's moving straight ahead. All right. So most of us, when we walk or run, there's maybe a little bit of rotation involved naturally, but you want to minimize it as much as possible to economize your effort, because you're wasting energy going like this, right? And I was training for a marathon, my one and only marathon story. I promise I won't go too deep, but one of the coaches who was training us was watching somebody come into the, 15-mile run finish line or something like that in the training day, and say, see that runner going diagonally? Wasted so much energy on that. And I was like, there you go. So I took that to heart. So, and Alexis, any more thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, that is a great point. I think that this is something that in our walking classes, there's no camera on. So we're not usually watching you when you're walking. So it's really an important thing for us to all be aware of for ourselves. So really notice, and you could walk toward the mirror or maybe when you're out on your walk, if you can see your reflection in a window or something like that as you're
Or
walking
video
through.
yourself.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something, the more that you can actually see what your walking form looks like when you're out on this walk, I would encourage you to check in with that so that you can see, because it might feel like you're doing your arms straight more forward, but you might be surprised.
Yeah.
And we were talking a little bit before we started today about this, and I think it's really interesting because on some level you do want to rotate when you're walking and running, right? Because it's like that's where your power comes from. And it's just like you want to rotate forward and not across. And it made me think of your kickboxing challenge and how you have like straight punches and you have hook punches. And basically, as you're walking, you want it to be almost like straight punches, the way that you rotate,
Yeah.
and not
But with your
hook
arms.
punches.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, that was like blew my mind when you mentioned that. So awesome. Okay, are we cool moving on to the next, because we're getting short on time and we got to get into
Sure.
the mailbag here. So
Sounds
and we want
good.
to get into the mailbag. Edie, I call Edie sometimes 3D because she shows up for 3 classes in a row with me. Edie, I'm so glad you sent us this question. And remember, if y'all have any questions, team, you can send them to TNFT at thenextfitnessthing.com. It's just our initials at thenextfitnessthing.com. And we would love to answer your question on the Next Fitness Show. Edie's question is, let's discuss exercise planning in regard to weekly versus monthly versus quarterly and how we should do it effectively. So it does for sure help to have a plan to help keep you organized. I thrive on planning, and if I'm left to my own devices and just kind of winging it, I don't get good results. So it helps to have that foundation underneath you, right, Alexis? It's just, I
Totally
mean,
agree.
yeah.
Totally
And
agree.
so my thought on this is it helps to, maybe if you have a big goal, like for example, I'm going to say running a 5K or walking a 5K, because we have one coming up this weekend, tomorrow, in fact, one with me and one with the aforementioned Kathy on Sunday as well. We'll talk about that shortly. But maybe you're on the couch and you have never even walked a mile before. You got to, maybe you have your big goal, but then you need to break it down into smaller chunks. And then once you know what your goal is, then you can kind of lay the behavioral foundation underneath that. And that could be scheduling your workouts in your calendar or in an app, or it could be, whatever you choose, as long as you've got it like a plan that's built out. And then maybe every month or so, you want to, check that. Like we have our goals walk, as I mentioned, each Monday live, and it's an all access class. So you can all join us that way and reassess what's not working for you, capitalize on what is working for you, and then make your tweaks and then adjust your plan from there. So then maybe you're going to be planning to get in more lower body strength training, for example, to help you keep your joints happy. Or, Alexis, go ahead and jump in. I'm kind of like blah, blah, blah right now.
Yeah, you're doing. I mean, I'm totally on board. I'm just like nodding
All
my
right,
head, like
sweet.
yes, yes. I mean, the only thing I would add to that is it's like I think that people a lot of times when they're getting people get really motivated by these goals that are maybe more, you know, outcome based, where they're like, I
Right.
want to be able to do this thing, and it's an outcome. And
Mm-hmm.
so, in order to do that thing, you sort of have to turn that into more of a behavior goal. So then it's like, what do you actually have to do to get to that? And
Mm-hmm.
there, honestly, yes, you can make a plan. And I think that it's great that you were mentioning that you have to look back at your plan. Because I think sometimes people take the outcome based goal and they're like, I'm going to run the marathon on this day. And that's just an example that we've been talking about. So I'm saying that, but it could be anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they basically decide, okay, this is my training plan between now and then. And sometimes they get really stuck in it having to stay being that training program regardless of what their body is telling them, and then there's like injuries that end up happening, or
Overtraining,
you
right.
know
Uh-huh.
right, or they don't get the result that they thought they were going to get in the amount of time they thought they were going to get it. And so revamping the plan as you go, and then that might even have to look like revamping the outcome that you were expecting in the time
Right.
frame that you thought, and you might have to make changes to it, and that's just part of what it is.
Yeah. And
So
going back to
that's
what we
all
were
I have
talking
to
about
add.
earlier. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. Back to what we were talking earlier in the Cancer Prevention Month discussion about exercise. You want to build it so you're getting some cardio. You want to build it so you're getting some strength. Ideally, you want to build some flexibility in there as well, because it all ties together. And if you do one thing all the time, that's a recipe for overtraining. You're neglecting one aspect of your body in favor of another one, and you are a whole beautiful package, and we want to keep you that way. So that is our advice. Edie, I hope that answered your question. And if not, let us know and say, hey, no, try that again. Because we're human beings and sometimes we all mess up, right? But I hope that covered it. So thank you, Edie. We have one more thing to do before we wrap, and that is, we touched on it earlier. This weekend, we have a live virtual 5K in the Next Fitness Thing app. And it is our Gotta Have Heart 5K. This is actually the culmination of a 4-week training challenge that we've had going on. And for those of you who've been with us for the 4 weeks, you're awesome. Have we told you that lately? You're absolutely awesome. And this is where you put the rubber to the road, so to speak, and find out how much you have progressed since that 4 weeks started. And if you were not with us for the 4-week training challenge, guess what? If you want to jump in and do a 5K, you can join us this weekend. So I'm going to be leading one tomorrow, which is Saturday, February 17th, as we're live. That'll be 10 a.m. Pacific time. Kathy, who is again with us in the chat, is going to be leading one Sunday, February 18th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And if you can't make it live, you can take it by a replay, but it's so much more fun to do it live. Alexis, shoot.
Totally agree. And when you sign up, I'm going to send you in the mail a medal and also send you a bib, like you're in an actual in-person race. And so you get all of that swag to go along with it. And just know that you can sign up. We're doing one of these quarterly. So also, if you miss this one, there's another one coming up too.
Right around the corner. I will remind everybody once again, we have an awesome optional for purchase shirt, the Gotta Have Heart 5K long sleeve rash guard, which is adorable and has been selling like hotcakes. So you can get your hands on that if you like. For those of you who are in our training program at one of the premium levels, that's at the premium level, I should say, that is included in your package. Go you. And then again, there's something else I was going to say that I forgot. It'll come to me. Okay. Anywho. Oh, and during that training program, we were also offering, options to, suggest to supplement what you're doing in the cardio. So that could be, again, strength training, stretching, foam rolling, all those things that help you with the package, that help you perform at your peak, like the well-oiled machine that you were meant to be in this world. So yeah, if you didn't get in on this training program, grab the next one, because it's going to be super cool. And I think there's still one more thing I was going to say. As soon as we close out, I'm going to remember, oh, that's what it was. But I think we're just going to wrap it here because we've hit our time. So Alexis, awesome job as always. Thank you so much for running the buttons and everything. And thank you to everybody who's still in the chat, who's still in the comments. Do we have still representatives?
Kathy is saying, don't bring your arms across your zipper. Carol's in here. Aaron, we have NM personal training. We have also Anna. So thanks to everybody who's joined us live.
Thank you. Awesome. Woo, we love you. All right, we got to wrap it with a high five, everyone. Hands up. Bang, there it is. And we will catch you next week for episode number 8. We just got through lucky number 17. Hey. Catch you next time.